Hey there, besties. Let's go ahead and talk about the firefighters contract, which we did hear about the other day when we listened to the special meeting that the Dolton Board of Trustees had where Big Tiff didn't show up. But let's go ahead and read what the Chicago Tribune has to say because I'm sure they have much more information than what we probably heard. So shout out to them. Dolton firefighters secure a contract. Trustees put temporary halt to travel by officials. I don't know why they would be traveling at this point anyway, but shout out to them. The acoustics in that room and the bad mics all play a part in why, we couldn't hear over there. Dolton firefighters have a contract after working without one for the last 4 years, and the head of their union said a change in negotiating partners sealed the deal. The labor pact was announced Thursday at a special village board meeting where 4 trustees who have battled Mayor Tiffany Henyard were joined by a 5th trustee who has been a staunch ally of the mayor. Trustees voted to put a temporary freeze on travel by village elected officials to curb costs and said they hope to have a new village budget hashed out in about a month, although they warned job cuts are a real possibility. Of course, when you come up with a deficit, what you need to do is cut back on your expenses. This is financial literacy 101. You can't keep spending when you're already in the negative or you already don't have enough. And that's why so many people get into trouble, even though that's one of the most simplest things that one can do. People just don't want to stop, a la Tiffany. And that's why they continue to go into more and more of the debt. We've seen it. We know what they be spending crap on or she be spending crap on, which is absolute BS. Child, shout out to that bakery because I really think that there's something up over there, but I digress. Trustees voted to put a temporary freeze on travel by village elected official to curb costs and said they hope to have a new village budget hashed out in about a month. Shout out to them, although they warned job cuts are a real responsibility. Board members also voted to fire Lewis Lacey, who was deputy police chief. The board voted in early August to place Lacey on administrative leave pending an investigation, but he continued to report to work. Trustees also cemented the position of Keith Freeman as village administrator despite attempts by Henyard to fire him and name a replacement. Trustee Stan Brown was greeted with cheers and applause as he walked into the Dolton Park District's Lester Long Fieldhouse. That's why she didn't come. She wasn't going to go there. She probably had Brandon come down. Well, maybe not for this meeting. She had Brandon come down for that last meeting where they weren't there, but she was there. So she already got her next appointment with Brandon for the next meeting, which obviously is in October. And she'll be there as long as it's at, I think they call it Village Hall, right? In Dolton. She'll be there for that, of course. And she'll be ready to go, ready to blow a gasket. We'll be right there. Trustees at odds with Henyard have been locked out of Village Hall and have tried to rely on Park District buildings to hold meetings. Oh, Lord, Tiffany. Girl, you locked them people out. How they get so they can get in for meetings because you need them to be complete and utter shit show, child. Your concerns are my priority, Brown said shortly after the meeting got underway. I'm here for all the residents. There's work to be done. He said village trustees need to get together and do some hardcore talking. Stan, it's too late for that. It's too late for that. He's bullshitting, y'all. Trustee Kiana Belcher announced the firefighter contract toward the end of the meeting, saying it will be in effect through 2027. Firefighters had gone 5 years without pay raises and have worked the last 4 years without a contract, according to Lieutenant Adam Farej, president of Local 3766 of the International Association of Firefighters. Belcher said trustees are doing what's right for the community and make the firefighters whole. Farai said the union had about 20 negotiating sessions with village administrators, including Henyard, that failed to produce an agreement. The union recently began dealing directly with trustees and attorney Michael McGrath, a partner in the law firm that represents the board on legislative and other matters. Farage said it took just 2 negotiating sessions to come to terms. Shout out to the trustees for that. All credit where credit is due. It's fair and equal across the board, he said. Tiffany would rather argue about cakes than to go ahead and take care of the firefighters because I promise you, God forbid, if something happened to her or her mama house, she's going to expect somebody to show the F up. They got all of this mouth about every daggone thing until it affects them. Then all of a sudden, they can see the light. He said when village administration was leading the talks, Henyard would sometimes run late or not show up at all. Call her out, child. Call her out. I honestly didn't know if we would ever get one, Farage said. It was a long, dragged-out operation. Then working directly with trustees, it was great, he said. Full terms of the agreement were not immediately available, but Farage said it includes retroactive pay raises. Well, that's good. That's good. He said there are 15 firefighters in the bargaining unit, though the number should be at least 21. He said the department at one time had 24 firefighters and they staffed 2 stations. Farage said working without pay raises or contract was difficult. We went through C-19 without raises, he said. We have a group of stand-up gentlemen. We went above and beyond. Trustee Jason House serving as board president pro tem for the meeting, said he and other trustees are working on a budget they hope to finalize within a few weeks and present to community members for input. This is a very pivotal budget, he said, noting it will include some expense reductions and there could be layoffs. The village's fiscal year began May 1st, and so far there's been no discussion on a spending plan for the budget year. If that task alone wasn't big enough, House said the village learned recently that it's being dropped by its bank, but he said he is hopeful a new banking agreement with another institution will be secured within a month. Any debt owned by the village will be paid, House said. Trustees also approved a temporary moratorium on travel by elected officials aimed squarely at Henyard, whose credit card records show has traveled extensively around the country, generally unaccompanied by other officials and village staff. During those trips, they've opted for luxury accommodations and fine dining credit card records obtained by the Daily Southtown show. I do believe Stan was over there too, but I digress. All these trips, all these hotel stays, traveling to these conferences and bringing home absolutely nothing, Belcher said of the Merrill jaunts. We have to be more diligent on how we are spending our money. Trustees voted to restore Freeman to the job of village administrator, although he still holds the job but has been working from home. Okay. I was wondering why the TV people don't ever catch him on the way in or out. Henyard said September the 3rd, she was naming Michael Smith Dots to replace Freeman, who she said no longer worked for Dolton. McGrath said Thursday that both Henyard's move to fire Freeman and hire Smith were invalid because the trustees had not approved either the firing or hiring, which is a part of municipal code. The law is clear as far as appointments and removal, the attorney said. At an August 5th village board meeting, Henyard said Freeman had been fired, although trustees took no action to support the move. At the September 3rd meeting, not enough trustees showed up to make a quorum necessary for a vote to hire Smith, McGrath said. Yeah, but then you got Booger up there trying to act like everything is everything. Child, this is so stupid. Regarding Lacey, trustees voted in August to place him on administrative leave pending an investigation, but on Thursday voted to fire him. Shout out to them. Belcher said the morale is going up among rank and file officers and command staff since Lacey left. Wow, so the oppressors were being oppressed. The oppressors were being oppressed. It was unclear how Lacey had been fired. Belcher, reading from a letter, said Dolton officers and command staff had taken a vote of no confidence in Lacey in early August, and 95% of those voting said they had no confidence in who was their top commander. Child, Lacey. We already know you ain't ish any daggone way, and this is the best thing that they could have done. Shout out to the trustees for getting the job done. They need some leadership over there in the township. So hopefully they at least are talking to each other to get a budget done and to make sure that somebody can stand up to Big Tiff over there, because it most certainly doesn't seem like they can. Anyway, so that's the update on the firefighters. Shout out to them. Shout out to the trustees for doing the damn thing. There's more to come, y'all. Trust me when I tell you there's more to come. But shout out to y'all that made it this far. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I see you all in the next one.
Because y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of y'allself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Delgado, unasked that seat. Unasked that seat. Unasked that seat.
To express my deepest gratitude to Tiffany Henyard and her team for their commendable efforts to better our community.
Listen, come here. Shut your stupid ass up. Say that, folks. What your dumb ass say it.